In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that former President Donald Trump has some immunity from the prosecution for official acts taken while in the White House. The complex decision is expected to further delay his upcoming federal election interference case. And joining us now to help break down today's decision is Fox 5's political reporter Morgan McKay. Morgan, this is very much a landmark case. The Supreme Court has not actually ruled on this in over 200 years of our history. So tell us what this ruling means today.
So the Supreme Court decided that former President Donald Trump and any former president is entitled to some level of immunity, and they set that bar pretty high. It was a 6-3 decision with the 3 liberal justices dissenting, and they decided to pretty much kick it back to the lower courts to decide if Trump acted in an official or unofficial capacity in certain cases, like the January 6th case. Now, I want to read one of the quotes from the dissenting Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who says, quote, "When he uses his official powers in any way, under the majority's reasoning, he will now be insulated from criminal prosecution. Orders a Navy SEALs Team 6 to assassinate a political rival, immune. Organizes a military coup to hold on to power, immune. The relationship between the president and the people he serves has shifted irrevocably. In every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law." And I wanted to read that one because I feel like it really got to the heart of what a lot of the dissenting justices were saying in their opinions, just about the level of immunity that this was given. Now, Justice John Roberts, he really pushed back on that. He said that, you know, there are some cases where a former president would be still entitled to not entitled to immunity, and he brought up one where Trump's conversation with former President Mike Pence. He was saying that conversation he had about the Electoral College vote, that one doesn't necessarily entitle him to immunity, but again, left it up to the lower courts to decide to go through that.
Now, as we look forward, we're seeing the big question is what's going to happen to Trump's case in D.C. We're talking about the plot to subvert the election. What do you see happening with that now?
So this almost assuredly pushes us back to after the election. And this is exactly what Trump's team wanted. And so they're very happy with that news today. But the Supreme Court, in their ruling, told the district judge in this case to go through the charges and decide which ones and which acts are official and unofficial. So this really drags out the process
Which is ultimately the question, is how do you determine official acts and unofficial acts? So we'll see how that happens. Morgan, thank you so much for explaining that all to us today. All right. To this now, moments after that immunity decision was announced, Donald Trump released the statement on Truth Social, saying, quote, "Big win for our Constitution and democracy. Proud to be an American." Now, the Biden administration releasing this statement, saying, quote, "Trump is already running for president as a convicted felon for the very same reason that he sat idly by while the mob violently attacked the Capitol. He thinks that he is above the law and is willing to do anything to gain and hold onto power for himself." And for the very latest developments on the Trump immunity decision, keep it right here on fox5ny.com. We're also going to have continuing coverage on the 5 and 6 o'clock news regarding this.